Scott, thanks for coming. Please have a seat. I'm just trying to understand something. Of course the jackass didn't give a damn. All he wanted to know was where we were. But what the hell were you trying to
do? I wasn't doing. I was doing something, but not what. There are opportunities in life. He might have become an ally, a great Technomancer. Even if you're not friends, he could.
Scott, how long have we known each...
Listen, you must listen and understand and see. It is...
I don't know what the hell... Scott, thanks. Of course the jackass didn't give a damn. All he wanted to know was where we were. But what the hell were you...
Do? I wasn't doing. I was doing something, but not what. There are opportunities in life. He might have become an ally, a great Technomancer. Even if you're not friends, he could.
Scott, how long have we known each other? How much do I owe you? You're like a father to me.
Yes, and you like a more than a son. Without all the messiness of diapers and all of I'm just a stupid, silly. It is a rather laborious story. Some of which you know, some of which it was 17 years ago. With our corporation's unparalleled obsession with the perfect man, I found myself ensconced in gene research. My son, my flesh and blood son. I loved that child, cherished him like nothing else, but my work stole time from him. More and more, and as the best geneticist in abundance, I ensconced myself in research of its genome, discovering its mutation, and I heard whispers of tests the settlers had made because they, too, had been coping with the chaotic mutative effects of the radiation. So, my friend, Mark, delivered me to a distant city, remote, nearly unlivable. I stayed there, pouring through their documents until one day,
It modified the human body's electrical production.
Precisely. Technomancers are the result of a controlled genetic manipulation. Mutations instigated to protect us from more erratic mutations created by the radiation. A discovery I found myself racing to try out on my son. But first, I needed test subjects. So I volunteered to heal children in the slums. Found 2 young boys there to test its efficacy. And lo and behold, it worked.
Andrew and me.
Yes. Your abilities were gained thanks to my experiments, but that was not all that was gained. I had proof that I could replicate the therapy, and that, now could resist other forms of mutations. From there, I secured a research budget from the military, who in turn assured me they would return my son. But for him, it was too late. The experiment failed to help him, and to the military, because I could not yet reveal what I knew, as I knew not yet what you were to become. So, only and when Andrew's death came, you, Zachariah, became my only chance for success. My only chance to regain my... Until you finally became a Technomancer. My success. By seeing Alan, I had hoped to fix that. That they might take you back, and in turn, I might... Madness. Madness had overtaken me. Forgive me.
Leave me alone.
complete scum was chosen. He has already proved he can lead our people. And his speech was so good.
Now that we are at full strength, we must devise a way to compromise Victor's popularity at the Assembly.
I've got a lead. There's this grizzled old general who's been bitching about the lack of info he gets about Aurora. Right now, he's the only one with the balls to call Victor the Dictator incompetent. According to him, the Aurora Dowser's down shit creek and may have been booted off his post. If we can prove that General is right and isn't just some senile old man, maybe the Army's head honchos will be pissed enough at the Colonel to kick his buns in the sun.
And we would need hard evidence.
I'm almost positive that Dandolo can help us. Noctis sends merchants everywhere, after all.
We also have some connections with Technomancers over there. They should be able to tell us what happened.
We could try Anton. Aurora's a little far, but there's no place that's safe from Anton's little birds.
It's a start.
Even if abundance is run from the top down, members of the Assembly would pay attention to uprisings. Some of your local allies can help you stir up some anger in the masses. The ASC has made their lives miserable for months. People are arrested on a whisper, live huddled in fear. It would not take much to spark the powder keg.
It's a good idea, but we can't influence entire populations by ourselves. We'd need allies hidden among the people.
Back when I was an artist, I got into some altercations with Assembly members who thought my shows were blasphemy. Maybe it was because I didn't say "Hail to the Shadow" 50 times. I can't say for sure, but if we could get them to think that Victor isn't a devout believer, we could get the large religious sect of the Assembly to revoke their support, or we could just give them a little nudge in the right direction by making them believe Victor steals relics for his own use.
We'd have to stage an elaborate setup, but I like it. After all, Trickster must get... We'll need volunteers that could pretend to be ASC. The plan is right up Anton's alley. It's possible for Dandolo or the opposition to help us out.
One last thing. I was told the High Judge endorses all of Victor's decisions, even though I know for a fact that he hates him, which is more than a bit strange.
Or if you're in the mood to make a scandal, I've got everything we need. Did you know that Victor employs young women to worm out information on men he keeps tabs on? And I'm not Victor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, to find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
Back in my days as an officer, I ran into a band of girls, and I think this exploited girls topic may interest them. Maybe enough for them to help us.
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Victor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to see.
It's not ideal, but I have no way of finding out what dirt the ASC has on that man. We'll have to go without his support. Hope we can get enough voters elsewhere.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Victor from his support. Bud, this is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Victor was the one who couldn't keep. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble mind.
No, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now,
Zachariah, I've received a message from Dandolo.
really?
Did he?
The ASC had him locked up in an old dome near Ophir. In his message, he says that it's a dome that Technomancers...
Hard to forget.
Greetings, Zach.
Rumor is...
Even though I have, let me.
Thanks.
Some relics. You're a Technomancer. You gotta know where we can find some.
Yeah, but the relics we keep aren't ones I'm gonna use for an operation like this. We need some minor relics.
What's the difference?
The amount of information we can get from them. Most of the objects dating back to the settlers are just trinkets. The ones we keep are data interfaces, though. Way too valuable to risk losing. I'd like to buy back the relics I brought.
What?
I guess I'll just have to take them.
Shadow! Please, help me.
I'm sorry, that offer has expired. Now if you...
The sun will damn you.
Some relics. You're a Technomancer. You gotta know where we can find some.
Yeah, but the relics we keep aren't ones I'm gonna use for an operation like this. We need some minor relics.
What's the difference?
The amount of information we can get from them. Most of the objects dating back to the settlers are just trinkets. The ones we keep are data interfaces, though. Way too valuable to risk losing. Do you have any relics? You're a... Don't win. Nice. I'm looking at it. I'll take them all. I need your help. I'm trying to compel some assembly members to withdraw their